Not changing is not cool. Not changing is not cool at all. I've met people I hadn't seen in years, and what shocked me is that they hadn't changed at all. You know, when all of a sudden you meet with like these high school friends or like your classmates and friend in your high school back then, I was so shocked because some of them hadn't changed at all. When I say they don't change, I don't mean like all of a sudden you need to become a bad person now, or like the change is in your heart. No, what I'm speaking about, it like they hadn't changed, and like they have like the same mindset, the same excuses, the same habits. It felt like time had moved but they hadn't, and that's, in my opinion, is a curse. That's a curse. It's not fun or cool, or you being just like, it feels like you are stuck in a timing and everybody has moved but you still there. What's so cool about it? This is like a curse. We don't speak about it that much. And when we hear all the time that word that says time change people, we hear this all the time. People change with time. No, I don't believe this is true. This is not true at all, because time changed no one. Time only reveals who is ready to change. Like, time only show the people who is ready to change. There are people out there who are like grow 10 years older, but yet they don't mature by a single year. And they think that like growing up and aging is the same. No, growing older is not the same as growing. There is a difference between aging and growth. Everybody age. We all are aging. Everybody's growing up, but not everyone is growing, because growing is a decision. And I have like a situation with that, and it shocked me actually. I was so shocked by it. I was like in like my teenage years, I have like this nephew. She behaved like in some ways that was actually kind of disturbing for the others that around my family. So each time we pointed out, she lied, and like she being basically not responsible about them at all. But like years have passed and we didn't meet for a while because like she had like some things that are going around with her. I don't know. But after meeting her again this year, mind you, it's just like there's like 5 years has been passed. After meeting her again this year, I was shook. She hadn't changed at all. She hadn't changed. I was so shocked, because how are you behaving the same way that you used to behave 5 years ago? How are you okay with that? And I don't mean anything bad about her, but I thought to myself that everybody changed. So it was like I'm viewing the people with my own lens. And I don't mean anything bad about her, bless her, but I was so shook. How are you behaving the same way that you used to behave 5 years before than this? You hadn't changed a bit. And I was so shook actually. And why people assume that changing is like, it looks like they don't like the fact that they are changing or admitting things that they have did in the past. That's why they are stuck in like this identity from like, even from like their childhood or like their teenage years, pardon me. So I was actually shook at that. People do not realize that the most dangerous comfort zone is their personality. Yes, it's basically you clinging on to the same personality and the same identity because it's familiar to you. Saying to yourself, I've always been like this, or I don't know how to speak. These sentences can actually turn into a present. People can change all the time, and this is how you know we are evolving. what do you mean you're behaving the same way you used to behave before? That does not make sense. There's definitely something wrong with you. And many people do not change because changing would force them to admit that we were wrong. And I fell a victim into that. And back in the past, I used to be mean because I thought that mean will protect me. Me being mean is going to protect me from everyone, because I was always viewing all the other girls around me as people who will actually trying to get me, and nobody is going to be a true friend to me. That's why I always protect myself by being mean. You know, that concept of you have to be unapproachable, so people can actually can't get to you or like hurt you at all. It's like you have to be furious or like how can I say it? It's just you have to be in behave in a way that people will fear you. So it's basically you make them fear you so you don't fear them. Did you get that? It's like this weird thing. So I used to behave like this for a long time in the past. And once I start and pause at it, that was actually a good mistake that I did, even though it was so cringy. And I hurt many good friends of mine because of that, because I just didn't know how to actually put a boundary. That's why I was mean. And I didn't want to admit that mistake. But once I started and look back at it, it forced me to think maybe the way I've been thinking all these years wasn't good. And many people would rather remain as the same as they are just because they want to admit that. So you don't want to admit that you did a specific mistakes in the past. That's why you're still behaving and thinking as the person in the past, because you don't want to admit that these mistakes are actually yours and these things that you did are actually bad. It feels like it's protecting your ego. So as a result of that, you're just going to be wasting your time being an old version of yourself that does not serve you anymore, just because you don't want to admit that you've did all of these mistakes. And I fell a victim into that, and I'm proud that I did that. I don't mean anything bad, but this is how life works. It can hurt, but how do you supposed to learn if you didn't do anything like this way? Pardon. Okay, and another thing is that some people are just loyal to an old version of themselves, and they don't like the fact that people tell them you've changed. Instead of being grateful, they just feel upset. And I've heard this many times when I meet like an old friends of mine, and I see many people behave like an old version of themselves just because they are loyal, because it feels like you romanticize the fact that we were in high school, and high school, like not being serious about anything that much and life being easy, but we are grown up now. So you just behave the same way that you used to behave before. I don't know how I find this, and I don't mean anything bad about anything nor anybody, but I find it so weird, because when it comes to me personally, I feel so proud of anyone I met. They have changed. I'm so proud of you once I actually see them changing their opinion or even mindset or even ideas towards anything. I believe that if your opinions never change, you're probably not learning. You're not learning at all. Even after 5 years, if your opinions still the same, your habits still the same, it means that you stopped thinking. Because if you're still thinking and you're processing what's going on, many habits and many ideas and many point of views will change. If you still have the same point of view or habits and ideas, no, you're not thinking. Like the brain kind of stopped here. You are literally blocking everything that is good from you by doing like this. And always, always, always be grateful for every version of you, but don't stay loyal to them. Be grateful for that, but don't stay loyal to them. The version of you at 16 served you during that phase. Okay, it served you during that phase. Blessed her. She did everything that she can at that specific timing with this knowledge. She did amazing. But is it occupied to build your life today? No. So don't stay loyal to it. Be grateful that you've been that person. And I myself been a mean girl when I was a teenager. I'm grateful that I did this so I can never go back into this mistake again. So always be grateful to every version that you've been in the past. And always, always, always aim to be better than yesterday. Even if it was like 1% better. Even if it was like 1% better than yesterday. It's such a blessing to see it, that you are actually conquering and like progressing and making this amazing progress. This is so beautiful to say. So always celebrate yourself when you have like something you've used to, for example, be angry at, or like something that used to frustrate you, but all of a sudden it didn't, for example. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. And be so grateful that you might not be the same person that you used to be 6 months ago, because the new version of you can help you build the life that you want. And in my opinion, someone calling you you've changed is such an amazing compliment. This is such a wonderful compliment, because as a human being, we face many situations, many experiences, and it can be some of them trauma. And you actually conquered all of that, and you just like come from them with all of these amazing knowledge and all of these amazing experiences, and you carry the knowledge with you in your next journey. This is such an amazing thing that you should pause and actually celebrate it. Thanks for watching.